Hey everyone, this is Christine with Kyanite Psychic Services, and today I want to talk about growth periods, spiritual growth periods, and 3 tips to help you navigate them. I love to help highly sensitive and creative souls build trust and confidence in their spiritual gifts, abilities, and path. And if you want to find out more ways to work with me, please do check out my website, which is kyanitepsychic.com. So I thought it was a good time to make this video because I'm totally in a growth period. So it's like, why not embrace it and talk about it? First of all, let's get clear on what growth periods are. They are essentially imbalances that are created when the soul shifts and changes rapidly and the body is trying to catch up. They can also happen the other way around, right? Just to say, um, any of you who have ever known someone or had the experience of, say, losing a whole bunch of weight really fast and still seeing yourself as bigger than you actually are, I think the term is body dysmorphia, right? That's actually metaphysically a type of growth period. The body has shifted and changed rapidly, and the soul is like not quite there, right? Hasn't caught up yet, hasn't processed it. So again, the other way around, when the soul shifts and changes rapidly, sometimes the body has not quite caught up yet. The physical experience hasn't caught up yet. And that is a spiritual growth period. So if you are someone that is on a path to raise their vibration, on a path of spiritual growth, development, you are going to have at least one growth period. And I say that with complete certainty. You probably already had many and perhaps just not have known what they were or what was going on, right? So I want to talk about a couple symptoms too. How can you tell? Keep in mind that growth periods aren't one size fits all. And even for one person, they might experience a bunch of different types of growth periods depending on, you know, the work that is being done, where they're at in their journey. But generally speaking, here's some markers. Fatigue, needing to sleep a lot. So if you're someone, say, that normally sleeps 7 hours, and then you find that you want to sleep 10 hours or 9 hours a night, or when your alarm goes off, it's just really challenging to wake up, that can be a symptom of being in a growth period. Also, releasing a lot of energy and the physical symptoms that go with that. Yawning is a big one. If you find that you're just yawning a ton, that is a release of energy and it can be a symptom of being in a growth period. Also, tears. I know I've experienced this and it's been kind of comical when it's happened, but if you just start crying, but there's no emotional impetus to those tears, like nothing made you cry, they're just happening, that can be the result of being in a growth period, where the body is just releasing, trying to catch up. And then another symptom would be wanting to do everything or wanting to do nothing. So say you feel like you want to KonMari your entire house, just get it out, clean everything out, do everything, or you feel like I just want to sit on the couch and binge watch Netflix and do nothing. That both of those can be, symptomatic of being in a growth period, especially if they're not within your normal scope of behavior, right? Then also physical symptoms, physical illness. Some of us out there have very sensitive physical bodies. And when we shift and change our vibration rapidly, it can cause some physical symptoms in the body. This is not indicative of everybody's growth period. And I want to be really clear, if you are having some physical symptoms, don't just write it off as, oh, it's a growth period, it's going to go away. Please go see a doctor. Please seek holistic care. But no, if you have, a cold and you normally are someone that gets colds and you've been doing a whole lot of work towards your spiritual growth and development, the cold might be because you're in a growth period, right? Then lessons that show up right smack in your face in your physical experience. like confronting aspects of your shadow just right there. You can't avoid it. It's right there in your physical experience. That can be part of a growth period, right? Where you're confronted with what needs to shift and change in the physical, and there is no getting around it. That can be part of a spiritual growth period. So those are just some signs, some little flags to mark the way. And again, everyone is going to experience them differently and differently at different points in their path. I do have a really funny story though to share about the tears because for me, when I've been in some big growth periods, what happens is I'll just release a bunch of tears at random times, inconvenient times at that. I'm a professional musician also, and I remember I was in this opera performance, and I'm a flutist, so I wasn't singing, thankfully. But at the end of the show, like the final act, um, my body decided it just was going to release a whole bunch of energy, and all these tears just started streaming down my face. I was not emotionally triggered in any way. Um, Thankfully, the music that I was playing that I had in front of me was pretty easy, so I quickly memorized what was coming up ahead because I couldn't see anything. There were so many tears flowing. But what was really funny about it was that, because I was on stage, the audience thought I was emotionally moved by the music, which it was beautiful, but I wasn't that moved. And so everyone came up to me afterwards saying, "Oh, it was just so poignant. You were so moved. I loved it." And I received the compliments, but I had a big laugh to myself after because it was just a symptom of being in a growth period. So maybe you'll have your own funny stories that you can accumulate as well. So, okay, all of that being said, um, you know, growth periods are finite, and that's the important thing, especially when you're in a really uncomfortable one. Because let's be honest, we can laugh about the stories, but when you're in the midst of a big growth period, it can feel uncomfortable. Think, like a teenager going through puberty. That is not comfortable. And a lot of times, neither are your spiritual growth periods, right? Know that they're finite. You will move through them and you will feel more at ease on your path. So here are some three tips to help you navigate and feel more ease as you go through these growth periods. The first one is go with the flow. As much as you can, be in a state of acceptance versus a state of resistance. You're in the growth period, okay, roll with it. Meaning, if you're tired, okay, you're tired. No judgment. Just sleep. If you feel like doing nothing and you can, just do nothing. If you feel moody, okay, you're moody, no judgment. I mean, maybe don't lash out at everyone around you, but just accept how you're feeling as you move through different states, right? If there are lessons in your face that you have to deal with, okay, go with the flow, go inward, ask source, ask spirit. Okay, what are my next steps? What am I here to integrate in this growth period? Right? And just go with the flow and do it. It is so much more beneficial to accept being in a growth period versus fighting it or fighting yourself. And I just want to share, I've created a meditation on releasing resistance. And in that, as a meditation, it's more general. So you can tailor it to whatever resistance you want to let go of. But here, you could use that meditation to release resistance to being in a growth period. Super powerful. So when that's live, I'll make sure that it's linked above and below. But you can also do energy work around this topic in your own practice and modalities that you work with, right? Second tip, amusement. Bring in amusement. Can't emphasize this enough. What I mean by that, laughter, levity, childlike energy, play, because amusement is such a high vibrating state of being. It helps you shift out of, you know, anything that is lower vibrational. It helps you shift and change your energy like that. And I know, especially when we're in the thick of things, if you're feeling moody, if you're feeling sluggish, and someone tells you, "Oh, just be amused," you're like, "Yeah, insert colorful language here." But truly, put on your favorite comedy special, phone your entertaining friend and have them tell you a story. Whatever makes you laugh, even just making yourself laugh, which sounds a little awkward, but once you start, it actually turns into real laughter. That is such a powerful tool to shift and change your energy, to bring you into a more high vibrating state and bring your body into greater alignment with where your soul is. So, amusement, amusement, amusement. Okay, last tip is to ground yourself and run your earth and cosmic energy, or run energy. So, if you're not familiar with these practices, I'll make sure that these meditations are linked. This has been invaluable to me in processing and moving through growth periods, because grounding and running energy help to clear and cleanse out the body fully and all the energetic channels of the body, and help us to release all the stagnant energy that we're moving through, as the body's catching up to the soul, right? So, if you're not familiar with that practice, I invite you to give it a try. And if you are, and you realize, hey, I'm in a growth period, I just invite you to double down on grounding and running your energy, maybe for more of a time than you normally do, because it helps bring in greater ease and helps you move through the process more quickly. One last tip to share. So maybe technically it's 4 tips for navigating growth periods. If you are an energy healer, practitioner, healing others will help you move through your own growth periods faster. And I found that when I'm in some pretty big periods of spiritual growth, I have people come to me in my practice that are navigating some similar issues at similar places on their path. So lean into your practice, not only to be of service to others, but also to help you heal yourself and to move through your growth periods with more ease and grace. So I truly hope that this video is helpful to you, and let me know how these tips help you in your life. And if you have any funny growth period stories, please do share them below. It's always good to laugh at yourself. I want to say too, I have a whole bunch of free offerings, both on this channel and on my website, um, to help further your path of spiritual and psychic development. I'll link those if you feel guided to check them out. And if you'd like to learn how to work with energy tools, um, grounding, running energy, and some tools beyond that, I have a beautiful 4-week course called Psychic and Energetic Self Healing that teaches some fundamental energy tools you can use to shift and change any facet of your life and experience. I would love for you to check that out. If it resonates, I'll put all of the information below. Thank you so much for being here today, and I look forward to connecting with you in the next video.